Monday morning, it invokes lethargy even in the most dedicated workers. But, for a period of time, an wholesome moment changed it for me. It was when I was working as a lecturer. Every weekend, I would return to my hometown. On the early hours of Monday, I would start to my workplace on a public bus with a deflated persona. However, it changes when I see the shenanigans of little kids boarding the bus. Along the bus route, there are kids from several villages who wait for the public bus to go to school. After getting in, they take care of one another amidst strangers. At their school stop, they alight the bus and line up like cute little hamsters as they trot into the school under the guidance of a teacher who was waiting for them by the roadside. Every time I see them get off the bus, I couldn't help but look forward to the next Monday morning. It was not the only pleasant memory that I carry along the journey. One of the villages that the bus passes by is my classmate's village. Together with my college friends, we attended her marriage in the final year of our graduation, despite the optional exams that were going on. Even though our hometowns are nearby, it was a slow, tiresome, and long journey from our college campus. We had to commission a private vehicle to reach her house as there was no other form of transportation. Once we took a turn from the bus route into her village, there wasn't even a proper road to her house. We had to drive through the fields to reach her home. It was a bumpy ride, to say the least. Once we reached her home, we were more glad than anything else that the ride has finally come to an end. In the village, there were hardly around 20 families. Our friend received us happily to her humble abode, and we all had a memorable time at her wedding. Be it my classmate or the little kids, they go through a lot of turmoil to study in a place far from home. Out of all the reasons I could think of, I came to wonder if it is because of reservation that people are walking the extra mile to put the effort towards education. After all, I have seen instances where education was looked down on in favor of carrying on their family trade. If there is no such thing as reservation, would it have been the same? Thinking of reservation, I recalled another incident. It was my first week of joining graduation. While everyone in the class was trying to get to know each other, I got myself into an impromptu discussion with my friend. He was in a bad mood that he wasn't able to secure a seat in a better college. Although our college is a state university, we were the second batch of our college. So, we didn't have the infrastructure, nor we may have placement opportunities. Most of the students opted for the college because it comes from the chain of a prestigious university. Hence, he was sour that his seat in a better college may have been allotted to someone with a worse rank, all because of reservation. I wasn't able to share his pain because I benefited from reservation, though conditional. But I felt bad for him. All I could do was lend an ear to him to vent his frustration. It was not the only instance when he brought up the topic. On different occasions, he cited various incidents of students rallying against reservation from every corner of the country. He firmly advocated that reservation should be removed because opportunities should be provided based on worthiness, rather than the person's community or category. One day, I tried to diffuse his indignance. I questioned him to think of why could have reservation come into existence in the first place. I gave him my answer that it was to provide an opportunity for those who are backward in the social ladder, to support those who are economically underprivileged. He laughed at my argument in anger. He then went on to tell me his status. He is the only child in his family, his father owns a small private business, and they live in a rented house. They have not inherited any wealth, property, or business from their forefathers. Even while supporting the only child, they live in the lower slab of the economy. On top of everything, they have a few outstanding loans to clear. When in comparison, most of those who go to better colleges in the name of reservation are living a better life with government-sanctioned lands, at least one government job holder in the family, and even the college tuition is being paid by the government. I was tongue-tied at his rebuttal. However, with time, I understood that the situation is not how he depicted for many families. It was when I went on a boating trip with my family. The trip starts from a remote location. As we were enjoying the beauty of nature, I noticed a few desolate houses on the hilltops close to the river. Curious, I asked the crew if anyone lives there. The crew replied that those houses belong to them. I went on to ask about their lifestyle and the available facilities. They live by farming and fishing, with minimum facilities in their village and a lack of education for the young ones. They said that there are many such villages along the river banks. So, even with reservation in act, there are families who are not in a position to avail the opportunity. I couldn't help but question the existence of reservation when it cannot help those who are in need. Inadvertently, a conversation from my intermediate popped into my mind. I met a happy-go-lucky student from a different batch. I have to commend his clarity of thought. He is very clear about his career. He said that, unlike others, he just has to work hard a little and not be too stressed about it. Since he has reservation, he was sure that he can secure a seat in a good engineering college, despite scoring lower than others. After enjoying his time in 4 years of engineering, which will be funded by the government, he will prepare a little hard for any government position and get a job comfortably. He even expressed his sympathy for us for going to have a tough time. Even though what he said was in a casual and funny tone, I can't deny the truth of it. But now, I wonder, when did reservation degrade from encouragement to exploitation? From opportunity to free food? To back it up, another incident came to my mind when my grandfather, a schoolteacher, was angry with a co-faculty. He was fuming as he berated the faculty who couldn't write a proper leave letter and is in the position to teach the generations to come. When asked to write a letter for leave, the teacher, who teaches the students in the same language, wrote, "I Shubata, go in." That was all the teacher wrote on a piece of paper. And the teacher's name was Shubhadra. Recalling the incident, my grandfather lamented, saying, "What sins are we atoning for in the form of reservation in this day and age? What will become of the students who were taught by such teachers?" When I asked how such a person got the job in the first place, he said that she was the only person to attempt for the post in that particular category and got the job because of reservation. Thinking of it all, I tried to understand the consequences of reservation. Because of it, those who work hard are not being rewarded. Capable people are turning lazy because they know that they don't have to work hard. In more cases than one, those who take posts in government positions through reservation are inefficient or doing a sloppy job, as they lack adequate skills or knowledge, effectively stalling the progress of the organization. There is also the damage that is invisible to the naked eye. It is cultivating, corrupting, and propagating the mindset that it is okay to perform below par to be successful. That, if you try, then even without putting in any effort, it will still work out somehow. This is the slow poison I don't need to guess the result of. So, is reservation doing more harm than benefiting society? Now, I don't know what to think of reservation. Confused, I wanted to assess the situation properly, not as a fleeting thought. I couldn't help but speculate and think back to the origin and purpose of reservation. Back when our country gained independence, there was a severe lack of everything, especially educational facilities. It was even more so in case of those who were underprivileged and discriminated against. Despite the challenges, if they have tried their best and have come far enough, the government was willing to believe that they are talented and hardworking. Provided that they have similar conditions to that of the other top rankers, their score may not be any different. So, in the act of acknowledging their efforts, the government provided them a chance through reservation, hoping that they continue to work hard. Going through the scenarios I have been in, I couldn't help but question, what good is reservation if it cannot reach those who are truly in need? What good is it if it makes the people lazy and opportunists? What good is it if it stalls the progress of our nation? Have we been entertaining the charade of reservation for too long without making proper reforms with changing times? When someone does not fulfill their job, we employ the tactic of carrot and stick. We have been dangling the carrot for far too long, but where is the stick? Or, should we remove reservation, as my friend said? Mulling over the question, I remembered an instance when I was a kid. It was a family gathering. Two of my elderly relatives were trying to pull up a soaked tent to the rooftop over a parapet. I tried to help them, but they sent me away saying that I am too little to handle the weight and might get injured or get in their way. But the task was strenuous even for the two of them. With friction acting against them, there is no progress. Unresigned, I went to the ground level and uplifted the tent little by little, which made the task easier for them to complete. It served me as an example that if there is to be real progress in anything, we can't just be focusing on the top tier or the higher end, as there will be many challenges, both visible and invisible, acting against us. If we want to reach greater heights, we can only do it together. It is the only way to make a nation. The convenient part is that it just needs a little push. So, no, we should not remove reservation. Also, reservation has become an integral part of the society. If anyone tries to remove reservation, there will be a major unrest in the nation. So despite knowing the consequences, the think tanks and policymakers' hands were tied. But, disaster still couldn't be averted. Now, people are fighting for the juicy piece of cake, called reservation. After all, it has become a fruit that anyone can enjoy without labor. This situation has to change. It can only be achieved by restoring reservation to its original intention, by reducing its effectiveness to achieve a competitive balance. In gaming terms, it is high time that we nerf reservation. But, how can we go about achieving it? Maybe, by limiting the use of reservation for either education or securing a job. Or providing only one chance for reservation in both education and job. Removing reservation criteria for high-profile, decision-making jobs. Providing financial and technical aid to be an entrepreneur for those who give up their reservation to a job. Isn't it better for the people that the government provide them with something that helps in their trade instead of a promise that people cannot utilize? Although I have my reasons to suggest what I did. I am not suggesting that we implement all of them. But, at least a small step in the right direction will go a long way down the lane. I would not care if reservation continues to exist through all of eternity, only if it helps to build the nation.